Hi guys, I'm Tom from the Vivas. We get a lot of people coming up to me at the end of gigs asking about their piano and our gear, so I thought I'd do a quick video to show you kind of how we use everything, what everything sounds like, so you know what to expect when we get there. So first things, we're going to go for the keyboard to start off with. I play a Roland FA08, full size piano with an ivory touch as well, so it feels like I'm playing a nice real piano. I've had this about 3 or 4 years. I chose this particular model because it's very light, so getting it in and out of the van's quite nice. It's also really versatile, so I can program this and kind of emulate any record. So I can either have individual sounds, and I can swap between those as we go, depending on the song, or, which is my favourite thing to do, is we kind of layer things up, so I can have different parts of the keyboard doing different things, which means I can essentially be 5 people playing. So, for example, I can be playing Don't Stop Believing and go into the... So I've got piano and bass going on this hand, brass in this hand. We do that quite a lot of songs so that we can make things sound full, so it's not just a piano on its own. Another thing we do when we play Rihanna, for example, I've got lots of sound going on at the same time. So we've got organ and piano and a bit of synth as well, all in one hand. Again, we want to try and have this kind of full sound rather than it just be one instrument. Another great thing about this keyboard, apart from it being very versatile in this area, it's got this nice little sample pad here, so I can assign sound effects to it. So when we're doing something like Beyonce, you know, I can play all that and still have a hand free to do other things if I need to. So I love this keyboard, absolutely love it. There's so many things we can do. The last thing that we do use is we can actually plug in a microphone into it, and we can use it as a vocoder. So when we do a song like Get Lucky, which is quite a nice little add-on. So that's really all the keyboard has to offer. I prefer playing standing up, to be honest, so I can kind of move around and dance a bit. But yeah, so my plan with the keyboard is to try and give as big a sound as possible, layer up as much and make it sound really full. Also means that you can have me doing multiple things rather than just one sound. Cool, so as well as the piano, you see I've got other instruments here as well. So I also play a bit of bass. This is an Ibanez 6-string bass. Get lots of people asking me about how many strings it's got. It seems to be quite big as opposed to normal basses. So normal basses just have these 4 in the middle, whereas an Ibanez 6-string has a lower B, so it has like a really nice low boom to it, and a top C as well. The joy of having the top end strings, it means you can actually play nice chords as well, but it also means you can go down the bottom. So when we're doing songs that are lower than your normal bottom string, I can still play them. Living on a Prayer is one of those, so we have the bass line, which is right down here. It also means that I can play some of these notes that you'd normally play here, I can play them up here as well. And it just makes it sound a lot warmer. I just prefer the feel of that lower thing. So on the guitar itself, again, unlike a lot of bass guitars, it has its own EQ, so I can turn up the bass or turn up the treble. And it means that I can have a really low boom, but I can also have a nice pop first, which is quite nice. So when we're playing the heavy rock stuff, I can have that low kind of pounding bass, and when we're playing some more funk, like a bit of Uptown Funk, I can still have that funky sound. I really like with all the instruments to try and make them as versatile so that it doesn't matter whether we're playing Nirvana or, you know, Kylie Minogue. It really doesn't matter. It's going to sound as close to the record as possible. And obviously, as you can see here, I've got a nice little wireless pack, which means there's no cable, so I can come and have a dance. I can come and go and walk around the room as well and come and party with you guys while I'm playing, as opposed to just stood in one place. I don't use an amp, and that's mainly because the PA that we use is very, very good. We have a really nice sub, and that has quite a nice warm bass sound anyway. And it's also less to kind of go wrong or less to plug in on the day. So I go straight into the mixer through the PA and completely wireless as well. Cool, so as I've said, I do play other instruments as well. So we have the 2 saxophones here. My preferred sax of choice is the alto sax. It's a lot smaller, it's not very heavy around the neck, so it's quite comfortable to wear. Again, I have a wireless pack to a microphone, so you can hear me through the PA, but it does mean I can move around or come and have a dance with you guys as well. One of the reasons that I like the saxophone more than, say, the big one like the tenor, it's a lot higher. So with a lot of pop music and a lot of dancey stuff, we can really get that high end. It just cuts through quite nicely. Other things that you can do with saxophone, rather than obviously just play the tune, I've got a mouthpiece here that I can control with my lips, so we can have some slides. Make it really jazzy. We had lots of reverb on it as well, so it sounds very epic. So that's the main saxophone that we use. Certain occasions, time has called for the tenor. You notice it's pretty much exactly the same. Slight little bent here. It is a lot bigger. And the only difference between the two, apart from it being heavier, it's just a bit lower. So I do prefer the alto just because it's nice and high, so I can play most songs with it. The tone of the sax, or the tenor, it's quite nice for jazz. It's not quite a smooth tone, and it's a lot lower. But as I say, in the rig, when we set up for a gig, I have the 2 on this custom stand here, so I can just kind of grab as we go. I can play, just pick up instruments as we go. And those are the saxophones. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you've found anything interesting that we've been talking about today. Look forward to seeing you at your wedding or your party, and you get to kind of hear all this in action.